Welcome all. For today's video I took a trip to the Dorset coast. I like to visit Dorset a few times each year, and with a favourable forecast I drove to Lowell Cove with the plan to walk the coastal path to Dorset and spend some time capturing all the locations in between. On arrival the cloud cover was quite heavy, so I got straight onto the coastal path in the hope that the conditions would improve while I was walking to Dorset. Once I reached Manowar Bay, I decided to make my first composition. I quickly set my time-lapse camera and explored a few different viewpoints. Orion this time of night was in a good position, so I took a few pictures from the top of the cliff and then wandered closer to the water's edge for a different viewpoint. So this was my first composition, and I just love the curvature of the bay and the rocks that seem to lead you out into the scene. And Ryan also looking really fantastic at this point. My next composition, again quite similar, but this time further down the cliff, and I decided to stand in the frame just to add a sense of scale and a human element to the scene. So once I felt like I got the most from that particular viewpoint, I decided to pack up and walk along the coastal path a little bit further to get a few photographs from Dorset. So I actually walked a little bit past Dorset to get a viewpoint looking down on the rocky arch from the cliff top. So this is my favourite composition from that viewpoint. There was quite a bit of sea swell running this night, so you get a nice leading line from all the white breaking waves, and Orion was really nicely positioned kind of just above the arch. So I took this using my 14mm Samyang, and the settings would have been typical for my night scene, so ISO 6400 f2.8 with a 25-second exposure for the sky and then another identical exposure of about a minute for the foreground. I then walked back to the car towards Lowell Cove and decided to stop off at Stairhole, which is an interesting coastal feature which has a little rocky bay and a few rock arches to make another composition. So this is the first edit of that scene, and again Orion was really nicely positioned, so from this viewpoint it was nicely over the gap in the rocks, and although the scene's lacking a focal point, I do quite enjoy the overall feel of this composition. So for this composition I just moved slightly to the left to feature both of these little rocky arches, and I just really love the layers of rocks that you can see in the cliff, and again, it perhaps is lacking a focal point, but overall, I quite like this pleasant wide-angle scene. My final composition of the night features this kind of scene, maybe a few hundred meters away from the car park. I was drawn to the composition with the crab pops and the fishing boats, and Orion looked quite nice in the sky just above these. It's probably my least favourite composition of the night, but I'm really pleased that I spent a bit of time capturing this. It's nice to get that final image before finally heading home. So this concludes my video. Thank you for watching, and I hope everyone manages to find some clear skies, and I'll speak again next time.